Hello everybody and welcome. So recently I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh because my girlfriend got me interested into it, and so I was looking at decks and everything online and trying to figure out what I wanted to make, and I came across Amaterasu to here. If you don't know what that is, it's a insane drop card that costs 2 tributes and everything. You put it face down on everything. Sorry if you can't see that. Okay, so you put it. So you set it down, you set it and everything, and then when your opponent attacks you, you flip it over, or everything, or attacks is sure it doesn't affect whatever. You flip it over, it banishes everything on the field, so everything goes bye bye out of the game, and then it goes back into your hand. Okay, so I wanted to make a deck based around this card here. So what I did was I looked at fairies, everything, and to see what I had. So what I have here, I chose. Oh wait, that goes over there. Sorry about that. Apparently I'm missing cards. Yeah, hold on. Well, first I looked at Vanisher of Radiance. So whenever a card enters the battle, or it's destroyed, it gets banished instead of going into your opponent's graveyard. So that's always a good thing to have for a deck like this. Yeah. Next, I wanted to look at field cards, other cards, like Dark Lord Superbia, and as well as Soprano the Melodious, Score the Melodious Diva, Soul the Melodious Songstress, DD Guide, which is automatically put onto your opponent's side, and then being each end step or whatever, yeah, each end phase, during each player's end phase, your opponent can select one card from the graveyard of this card's controller and removes it from play. Like, so basically what happens is when you play DD Guide, it goes to your opponent's side, and then during each player's end phase, you get to go to their graveyard and banish one card from their graveyard. Serene Psychic is also a good one. Serene Psychic is basically when it dies, you find another Psychic and you banish it, and then you can summon it to the field without tribute or anything else. So if it's a level 5 or higher Psychic, this is a good card to have. Dimension Jar, it's a flip effect, but it pretty much, whenever it flips, each opponent, both players can remove from play up to 3 monsters from their opponent's graveyard. This is the kind of deck that I want to build. So, and then I have a couple of supporting cards: Dancing Fairy, Artifact, Lancia, Light Efficiency. I think I got 2 Moisture Creatures, which, if you played Yu-Gi-Oh, you will know that to bring out a level 1 to 4 monster, it's automatic. Levels 5 and up is tribute 2. However, there are certain creatures or monsters, whatever you want to call them, that cost 3 tributes, and they will say on the cards if they are 3 or more. So one, it's going to cost me 3 to bring them out. So Heralding Orange Light and Retaliating Sea. You see, which is a insect actually. And if it's summoned a special way, basically, if your opponent plays a card that allows them to special summon a creature, you can put this out automatically, and if you do that, any creatures that are destroyed are banished instead. Or any card since the graveyard is banished instead. My bad. Kribons, which is a psychic creature and everything, so, you know. And then a couple others. I mean, honestly, just, you know, when it comes to creatures, there's this deck. I thought about Banishment mostly, so that's mostly what I thought of. But this is the card that, these are the cards right here that are basically how this deck works. So these are my 5. These are my main creatures right here that I picked out. I think I might be missing one. Hold on. Oh, and him. Okay, so these are the ones that this deck mostly works around. Okay, this deck is basically made to pretty much banish everything in the opponent's graveyard on its side of the field and mine. Well, and then play cards like DD Dynamite, but yeah, you play cards like DD Dynamite and everything, which deals 300 damage to your opponent for each card that has been banished on their side. Also, another good thing to have in a deck like this would be Interdimensional Matter Transporter, due to the fact that whenever your opponent attacks, or like say they have a card like Vampire Vamp or anything, then if they target one of your Vampire Vamp when it comes on the field, when it's normal summoned, your opponent can take control of one of your monsters that is a higher attack than Vampire Vamp. Now let's say they target Vampire Vamp's about 2,000 attack, so you know. Let's say they target Vampire Vamp, they target your Dark Superior. This is on the field, you can flip it over, banish Dark Superior, which negates their thing, they cannot take control of it. Okay. At the end phase, Dark Superior comes back onto the field. Okay. So, there you go. Another trick with this deck is making sure that your opponents can't do anything. So another fact would be use stuff like Pot of Everest, Monster Incarnation. Yeah, we all know what those do. Let's see. If you, since it is a flip, so you flip cards and anything, or there are a few cards, so Reversal and Book of the Moon. As well as Reload. Foolish Burial is a fun one because what Foolish Burial allows you to do is if you have Foolish Burial out and you have Dark Lord Superbia onto your Superbia in the great, not in your deck or anything, you can sit there, play Foolish Burial, okay, put Dark Superbia into your graveyard, and now let's say that you have Banisher of Radiance, which they've already destroyed Banisher of Radiance. Okay, that. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Then we're going to play then you play Premature Burial, which then allows you to bring back out Dark Lord Superbia. Bring out Dark Lord Superbia. Everything. Okay. So there you go. There's your Dark Lord Superbia. There we go. Which when Dark Lord Superbia is special summoned to the field, pulled from the graveyard, you can select one very much from your graveyard and put it back into the field. So then you would put out Banisher of the Radiance, or whatever fairy you want. Okay, now it's in your graveyard. Oh, I mean, it's a pretty simple deck. I mean, it's mostly banishing and whatnot. A lot of it's just, you know, making sure to banish your opponent's cards, do damage, bring your stuff back from banishment, you know, stuff like that. I mean, if you have other ideas for this deck, so please leave a comment and everything. If there are other cards that you like to use, or if you have done a deck like this, please also comment and everything. I do enjoy hearing from everybody. And this is It's Wonderland. Today was pretty much learning how to about Amaterasu and the type of deck I use. I appreciate you watching and have a good day.